Thank you very much, Nomad. Yes, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Time for some more action down in the lower bracket. Xtreme Gaming up against Team Spirit. We're going to see who's able to hold on and survive in this competition and the road to the international. And some fantastic comments there. So Arme was just like,
give me Muerta.
Just give me Muerta. That's a bold move, Fogged.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can see versus like Omni Knight, yeah, there's some reasons that you could want this hero, and I think more people have been asking for it because it is a super hard scaling carry. It's just the question is, are they going to get there? Because this looks like an incredibly greedy draft that XG has gone for. I know that's kind of their style for the most part, but oh man, I think they kicked up the greed onto like level 9 or something.
That's true. They need a lot of money to get this lineup online on Xtreme Gaming. We'll see if they get the chance to get there. Team Spirit, on the other hand, looking at their draft, what does their lineup sort of say to you?
It's fast, it's tempo-based, but it also has great scaling. They've got kind of like a mini tricore between the DK, Luna, and the Night Stalker, even though the NS can go down more of a early tempo build as top. XXS might just die here.
Oh, I think he will. Final Lucid Beam comes through there. Radan is going to be able to start this game off with a first blood.
Yeah, so across the board, I would say Spirit, they have a great way to set tempo. They have great ways to fight early, and yeah, that could definitely be a key to success for them to play versus XG with pretty okay. I think actually both team fights are a little bit lackluster, but I think Spirit maybe having an edge just because Luna now can get involved with the Eclipse. Snapfire Kisses are going to be a bit of an edge on that one too. So we'll have to see how the lanes do kick off, as that first blood does happen right off the bat there.
And talk to me a little bit about this your final pick, the Night Stalker, right? Not a thing that a lot of teams are playing with, and interestingly enough, this time round, in comparison to what I believe we saw the other time with the Night Stalker pick, Collapse taking the alternative facet.
Yeah, I mean, of course his lane is going to be a little bit worse, but throughout the game, it's pretty good because you're actually doing way more damage, and you're also just making it so one target cannot really be bailed out of bad situations. So versus something like a Muerta carry, which
top lane revenge to be had here by Xtreme as they take Maposhka down.
But yeah, it's gonna make that early start just a little bit slower, of course. But overall, you know, I'm super down with people experimenting a little bit because I think this hero needs to be experimented more. So we've only seen one so far from this tournament.
So far, mid lane matchup here between Lyle and XM on the DK Storm. Pretty close, a little bit of an edge here for the Storm. Getting a few denies in against the DK early. We'll see if that continues.
To be expected. I think Storm overall has been starting to look very strong overall in this in the tournament, just because it's a scaling mid laner as well, besides just being a spellcaster. So I'm actually glad to see it a little bit more. I know we saw it a bunch in that last series. So.
Top lane. Sim try and get aggressive again here. Scorched Earth, but Radan and Maposhka ready to trade back.
I still can't believe that we're doing XG versus Spirit in the lower bracket. It's Ame versus Radan down here. It's pretty insane. Maposhka will protect, ensure that he gets that Lotus. It looks like Tinker on the opposite side was able to get it. Definitely going to be a bit of a slower start here for XXS. A very strong lane that Team Spirit has gone for.
Yeah.
But on the flip side too, Muerta is going to be getting that good farm with DY backing him up, especially until nighttime hits. You know, next 2 minutes or so should be quite free for Ame.
I mean, when the nighttime hits as well, do you see an opportunity in this lane for Team Spirit to get aggressive with these two heroes? Like, what will their level of strength be like with the Snap and Night Stalker when the first nighttime hits?
If they bring a third hero. I think it's a little weird sometimes getting too aggressive into Tinker. You have to be a bit cautious as a
lovely shots here being hit by Arme. He's getting some beautiful angles. And Collapse getting bullied right back underneath the tower. DY's going to be able to chase him down a little bit. Really cause some issues for his farming in this lane. As Collapse not having an easy time during the daytime.
Nice
Mirror
shot.
comes back into the lane, and again, Arme able to make the connection. Collapse, he's kind of stuck in a bit of an awkward spot.
He's
and
dodging the march.
Oh, indeed.
Oh,
He's going to make it back safely. Collapse, living on the edge here. Arme, another shot comes in though, and Arme, he's shooting them down on this bottom lane. We heard it at the start, right? He wanted to play some Muerta. He's getting to do that, turning up and shooting them down easily, getting early kills here in the safe lane.
Lacoste did say, right? I think he was saying, what, 90-something matches in 8 days? So, like, Ame has definitely been fiending. So, very nice connections there. 2 early kills. Very nice. Doom is suffering, though. So, on the flip side, you know, both these offlaners are going to have that rough start.
Not easy curry there for XM. Able to step up onto the higher ground, take that one down away from Lal. And indeed continues to hold the advantage. About a full creep wave CS lead against that of Lal's DK.
And let's see what overall DY does do as this Tinker. You know, it's been a bit of a mixed thing, I think, for some teams. We saw, of course, Mira. He played it the other day. It's not like he looked bad on it, but we were mentioning, you know, it just felt a little weird on him. So let's see overall, it's a 5-position Tinker, how much he's going to be able to do in terms of just healing, sustaining, and protecting some of these cores versus some of this lockdown. And that's where maybe the Night Stalker can come into play to prevent some of those heals or, you know, protection that a Tinker can provide. And Nighttime has been hit.
See how much this starts to sort of change the dynamic of this bottom lane, and if Collapse is able to begin the catch-up.
It would more just farm a little bit easier, but they can pose kill threat, especially if like a third hero comes down. I think that's probably what I'm looking at, if like an Omni or a DK comes down, to set up for those kills on the Muerta early. Besides that, probably level 6 on Snapfire is one of the best tools. That's of course going to take some time. Another courier.
I imagine we'll see some of the supports head over for the 6-minute power, and yeah, already getting a bit of focus shifted over towards this.
Spirit double checking because they're playing versus that bottle. Laurel not having one he can actually apply. A lot of pressure here too. Having the catapult.
Top lane, they do try and go on Radan whilst he's been left alone. A movement over towards the mid. They won't be able to get him. They do bring him down very low. In fact, the aggression in the mid coming in from Team Spirit.
Oh, and this tower.
Forcing XM all the way back.
This tower needs help. They still have the catapult in mid.
I mean, it doesn't look like Xtreme are going to...
Xingqiu has to arrow it. Like, that's their best solution to deal with this push right now, but it's too late.
I mean, yeah, this first push coming in with the Dragon Form and indeed with that catapult, it's going to get the job done. Team Spirit, 6.5 minutes in, they'll take that tier 1 mid down.
That's pretty huge. I mean, Laurel having this type of start can definitely have a snowball effect onto those side lanes. He has a 700 gold differential versus that Storm now.
Yeah, and just versus the team, the lineup that's going to need time.
It's greedy. It's so greedy by XG. Rune.
Medusa, he's going to try his luck.
He does have the repel. Is he going to get this grab?
Arrows in, they've got the control. They'll be able to make sure he doesn't grab the wisdom, and they'll certainly be able to take his life. XM comes across and is ready to pick up the kill himself. Same time down bottom, Collapse. Getting pretty low.
That was kind of weird. He didn't repel before just walking into the room, so he got stunned. He could have just probably repelled first, but slight little mess up there from Medusa. Bottom, DY, maybe now also getting overzealous.
I think so. Didn't expect Mira to be coming in from the sidelines. Tries to get the defense matrix off, does, but it's not enough to save him, so DY will fall under the tower. He's going to be left on his own for now. There's a bit of a rotation coming over from Lal. I mean, Lal's just going to be ready to go with the next Dragon Form if the chance is there to start pressuring some more towers.
Yeah, he's just going to pop in and farm down in the area. They're going to keep tabs of it because of that ward, but Medusa, he's just going to go mid. He's like, okay, I need some experience. DK, you can kind of keep threatening bottom because you're still down there and I get all this free XP, so. Spirit, good aggressive moves. Of course, 4 kills for XG. But Spirit, at least with the 2 top cores at the moment, looking good. Let's see if they can find Radan.
It's a nice attempt there. Tried to get the catch with the dead shot onto Radan.
Can't quite.
Not quite able to do so. If that hits and he's able to push him back, would have had the chance to go for the kill with the Doom. But they let Radan live, and they'll just focus their efforts over towards the tower instead here with Ame.
I like this move. Ame, he saw the DK pretty much playing on the bottom side, so he's like, all right, I'm just going to leave that area, at least get some tower pressure. And cool to see the build. I mean, this is the carry, Ame, right? Carry Muerta. No calling. 3-0-2. He's going to go straight down that farming route. Pretty interesting.
Should allow him to farm at a pretty impressive pace.
Yeah. Ooh, they're going to look to defend down here. Mira, not quite 6.
See if Collapse is able to get the setup.
I mean,
got the numbers on XG. Could be a bit difficult for Team Spirit to enter into this. I mean, Collapse is trying to see if we can find the squishies first.
Level 6 has been hit on the Muerta.
Dire's middle tower is
and diving under March can be a little bit difficult, especially if you don't have the big damage burst and they don't quite have those kisses. Radan is getting stalked. Might just get gone on here.
They're going to have to set up. XM's in. XXS able to follow up. Drops the Doom down. TPs will be coming in. But there will be no saving Radan as XG get the big pickup.
Nice play. Very good patience there. They're moving around the map nicely. I mean, they're reading the movements that's coming out so far from Spirit. DY. Looks like he'll inevitably get caught.
I mean, Ame's going to try and show his face, but he's on his own here against the 3 of them. He's got the ultimate ready to fight back a little bit.
Oh, he is surrounded.
He's got Xingqiu from the side, but I don't know how much the Mirana could do to help out. The arrow is not going to connect Ame. Taken out underneath the tower here by the 3 of them.
That's a save your buddy syndrome if I've ever seen one. Really wanted to try to help out DY, but ends up just giving his life and his courier, now potentially his tower too. That was a bit of a painful death there for Ame.
I guess a bit of balance. Both carries end up getting taken out on each respective side of the map.
I just feel like Luna, though, overall compared to Muerta, if you get slowed down a little on Luna, it's not as big as a deal as if I'm for a Muerta. You farm fast, but you're super immobile on the Muerta.
Lol trying to continue the pressure. They're getting a lot of damage done to what would be Team Spirit's second tier 1 tower that they're close to being able to take away from Xtreme.
Midas queued up. And as we expect, I mean, it has to be Midas, of course, when you've got this facet, but yeah, very greedy route that they're going to be going down on the side of XG. See what Spirit does to capitalize that and put the pressure on him. Waiting to see. Collapse has shown that he is going to go for this Blink Dagger. We'll see how aggressive he does want to be in these next few moments. He has Dark Ascension. Even though it's daytime, they can look to fight on the side of Spirit. They have kisses available.
Well, let's see who XG want to go for with this smoke. They've got the 3 of them making the move. I mean, who are you looking towards? Do you want to go for the Night Stalker, or are you ignoring the Night Stalker and looking to go elsewhere?
At least, I think team fighting looks complicated. I think they want these pickoffs, but they're going to look
try
for the Omni.
They look for the setup in the mid, but Lars quick with the jump over towards Muerta. The kisses coming in as well. Ame just gets taken out immediately. They're now ready to look for more Spirit. I mean, Collapse has turned up.
Nice
they're in on top of the Storm Spirit. XM's taken down.
That was...
I mean, they're looking for fights, Fogged, but I don't know if they want to be looking for them at all.
I have to agree, Owen. I mean, they know that they have all their ultis at the ready, especially the kisses, which for Ame, he has to, I think anytime kisses are up, he can't show up to fight. You're just a free kill. You're super immobile. You get it by 1, it's very hard to reset position, and it's a perfect blink over from Laurel. That felt weird. I mean, it felt like they really wanted to force the issue of trying to catch them split up, but Spirit just super prepared. And they're way stronger in this early game.
I mean, Lars watching for the side. He's going to be ready to go again. He's in with the Blink Dragon Tail stun to open things up. Mirror will get sent back by the dead shot, so just give a bit of safety for the 2 of them. Backup's coming in. It's a big zip from XM. The GA will come out from my posture in an attempt to keep the 2 of them alive, but it won't save them from the magical, as XG will bring down the Omni Knight.
5 heroes to bring down that Omni. I mean, that says a lot when they're like, okay, everybody needs to be there to protect Ame if he's going to get gone on, but a lot of time spent to just do that. At the least, they'll be able to get this tower, it does look like.
I mean, because it definitely feels like Ame's probably the one making the aggressive calls here, right? He's saying, I want to fight, I want to go for this tower, I want to play for objectives. And it's giving us some crazy action, but maybe not action that in the long run will favor XG. We'll have to see. Still, the numbers stay close. They take the tier 1 in the mid, 6-6. 1k gold lead across the board, though, for Spirit as Radan on his Luna. Just able to be that little bit more efficient right now as the carry.
And I feel like we've seen this a lot with these Lunas versus some of these other carries that don't farm as fast or have some pressure, like have some difficulty moving around the map as quick, because Luna's very fast. He's almost level 10 on Radan. So he's got almost a 3 level disparity as well on top of that gold disparity. That just means you're going to farm that much faster and also be able to potentially get involved in fights soon. So it is XG's approach, right? They're going greed, but just was surprising that they did try to go for that early jump. And looking at the items, XM is going to go down Witchblade, which is I mean, we'll see if he does. But Orchid is also very valuable and something perhaps necessary versus Omni Knight in a lot of these games.
And Miposhka, as the Omni, having great ways to bail out anyone that gets jumped, whereas as we're seeing on XG, if any sort of time Lars able to get the jump onto Ame with the Dragon Tail, not a whole lot they can do outside of a defense matrix coming in. That's going to have to be the best thing that they can do to try and save each other.
Blink and Dark Ascension at the ready. They see Jin Q, they're just going to take him. And maybe even look for a Wisdom Rune steal at the same time as the rest of them are still smoked, so they don't show anybody. It's a solo kill, and they're setting up for this rune.
And they might be able to find themselves a second support kill here, depending on how careful DY is.
Oh, and they might take out all these Ancients. Look at how low they are. That's juicy. Good scan comes out.
DY is going to be found over the trees. Collapse sees him. Ame's TP'd in. I mean, Lau's going to be able to pick up the Wisdom Rune. XG, they're going to try and fight. If they go for Miposhka, Miposhka's going to get burst by XM. See what more they can find from this one as XM continues to stay on top of Mirror. Mirror's going to opt for the TP out. The dead shot, though, it's there from Ame. Gets the angle and sets up for XM to get a double.
Hey, good call to rally everybody. And they actually, it's a split second from them getting the Night Stalker too. He threw the net. He actually moved out of range of the silence on XXS through the net, but it literally was mid-air to catching Collapse as well, so good reaction. Ame, Radan, of course, still farming freely, but they'll get some nice kills. Nighttime is about to be coming around about 10 seconds. but they've stabilized the gold.
And I imagine with
Radiant are
these
scanning.
moments, I mean, XG, do you think we will continue to see them go for smoke plays? They're very close to what the Blink Dagger on the Doom, so that's definitely going to be a point where I can imagine that, you know, if anything's to go by for the gameplay so far, Arme will probably say, hey, let's try and look for a fight, get involved himself.
It does feel like it.
He doesn't seem afraid of fighting.
Yep, it's a very farm-heavy draft, but they're still looking for these engagements, which is pretty cool. During the nighttime, perhaps a little bit harder. During the day, they can do these type of plays to kind of, you know, play around that Night Stalker and that Luna night vision, but
Radan,
up top, DY gets caught.
another freebie here for Spirit. So Radan just getting all the space in the world to be on the path to doing what many a Luna has done so far this tournament.
Absolutely.
When they've had this sort of freedom in this opening 15 minutes, you know, perfect farm from him so far. The Luna's going to have to, they're going to have an answer for the Luna down the line, Xtreme Gaming.
Absolutely. I mean, they have the Doom, right? But they do have a Tricore on the side of Spirit. And not always the easiest to get to this Luna. And I mean, he's got a Manta already finished up. Crazy amount of farm.
Middle tower is under
It's already 3,000 gold ahead of the Muerta. It's pretty much a full item.
And how do you even close that gap
It's through
in this
fighting.
kind of carry matchup?
It's got to be through like some big fight. I mean, Ame is getting closer and closer to this Mjolnir, but it feels like it can't just be some sit back and farm to try to catch up on a Muerta. In order to catch up and farm them, yeah. But it's like, if they take the fights at this point, it does feel a little bit complicated, especially around nighttime. Collapse.
Radiant's bottom
Trying to push the
tower
issue
is
here.
under attack.
XXS able to farm the camp and get back to the high ground in time, so he'll stay safe.
They don't have a glyph for this tier 2. They're gonna send the Tinker down. It's spotted. They'll give the respect to DY. Not gonna dive forward for him. Maybe expecting a smoke rotation like they baited him earlier.
I mean, just any sort of pressure that Team Spirit apply like this and get the response from Xtreme Gaming
Hey, this is
out with, they just know that Radan is just completely safe. Like, there's no threat to Radan being hunted down.
And this is interesting. XXS, he's, of course, doing the changing of items. It's a full Shivas that he has right now. So maybe now for this upcoming fight, this is the tool that he wants to just be able to jump it, like just run in with that Storm and give them extra damage and things to prevent some of that healing.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine so. It really is the case that XG, even with what on paper looks to be a greedy lineup, they're not afraid of looking to fight relatively early. 17 minutes in, they're ready to look for action and to get Arme on this Muerta involved very early on.
Absolutely. Laurel, Orchid is finished, so now overall XM does have to be very careful with his positioning. Radan dancing around that night vision. He sees the Storm. He'll just be able to walk away. Level 15 Luna, level 11 Muerta. I mean, the farm just continues to grow and grow. Ame does have Mjolnir, and he's found an Iron Talon also, so his farm is going to increase. It's going to start getting faster.
Yeah,
But Luna can get involved now. Luna
Yeah.
can start fighting a little easier, it feels. And catching the Luna, it's been a task a lot of teams are trying to figure out. Spirit, still 1 minute and 40 seconds until that daytime, trying to put as much pressure on the map as possible during it.
Setting up around the tier 2 Extreme.
tower is under attack.
All 5 of them. Look at the full Mjolnir.
They know the fight's coming.
Arme still vulnerable though if the jump is made upon him. And this is, again, just more time that they're having to sort of stay positioned under their tower. While Spirit, I want to move around the map a little more freely during this night time.
Good map read, though. They know that Spirit's looking to make these aggressive moves. They keep getting tabs of it. Again, they're going to see it, so let's see how they look to huddle off of that one, and let's see if Spirit looks to maybe potentially try to force a Roshan soon also, because their lineup does take that one very quickly, and they have a great team fight around it. They saw XXS with this deep ward on the bottom side, farming this hard camp, but that's pretty much all he's been farming. He's not pushing the limits going out for the secondary camp, which is saving his life in a few scenarios. And their Tricore is starting to get to a pretty comfortable position too. This is kicking off to be a pretty good and pretty explosive mid-game team fight, it feels like, from both sides, because both are just getting to finish up these items. It's just that Luna who has that big difference.
Is under attack.
Spirit Majority of them coming up to this top side of the map. But pressuring the tier 1, it's not going to be too easy with the setup that Xtreme Gaming have.
I'm checking tabs for BKB timings because this game state's kind of slow. It feels like teams could perhaps look to wait for those. Luna's about to have hers finished. DK has one component, and Nightstalker's about hers. Oh, maybe Spirit, when they've got double BKBs, could look to force at least that Roche that we were talking about from earlier, and see how Spirit wants to react, or see how XG wants to react first, because they're also pretty much done with one of the BKBs. XM does have it done. So we'll let him have access into the fights and allow him to pick and choose the targets, because without a BKB on Storm, he cannot go into these fights. But with it, he doesn't have to fear this Nightstalker nearly as much. They're getting away with the greed. Spirits, I feel like they're not able to apply as much pressure as they wanted to.
And can Spirit's lineup go for a Roshan very easy?
Yeah, they absolutely can. But the thing is, like, XG's just, they're getting just a lot of farm on the map. Like, even the Mirana and the Tinker, they're starting to get their scaling going. Seeing the Omni Knight and the Snapfire starting to fall behind. So Spirit might feel pressure to make a move soon. But they're strong, so see where they look to go for it. I mean, DY, he's got Mech, he's got the Holy Locket, he's got the Philly Stone, so it's going to increase to get that farm. Same thing for Jin Q. He's got Solar Crest, he's got the Philly Stone. They're all in on the greed. And right now, it's, I mean, yeah, looking pretty okay, looking pretty decent.
Super close. 21 minutes in, just a bit of a difference how the wealth is split between the heroes. Spirit being a bit more top heavy that with Radan.
Mira, he's got a pipe. All right, I mean, it feels like they are getting ready to go for that fight. BKB is about to be done on Nightstalker, BKB's done on the Luna, they've got a pipe on the Snap, so it feels like Roshan forcing is going to be the call here for Spirit pretty soon. But XG, it looks like they're probably going to look to fight back into it because of how much time they've gotten to get these core items.
I mean, it looks like they saw the DK show mid, so the initial movement there was seemingly an attempt to cut him off from connecting with the rest of the team. They weren't able to get there in time, though, so Lyle should be able to make it back towards the rest of the squad for potentially a 5-on-5 here.
This is a huge fight. Let's see how it ends up going down.
And whether Spirit are patient enough to wait for this, or if they do get tempted to start tackling the Roshan.
It's daytime for another 2.5 minutes. He does, of course, have Dark Ascension, but he doesn't have the...
They're going to know that they're there. Korea gets sniped, but that will give Spirit the information.
Oh, Spirit might look to collide into them.
Still got a bit of time left on this smoke. But at the same time, Xtreme Gaming, they're going to know that Spirit know after killing off that courier.
The macro movements coming out in this game. Both reading each other kind of beautifully.
See who's going to get jumped
see
first.
Ame.
There's the jump. They're going to try and burst through Ame. Is there any sort of save ready for him? No. There is not. Ame gone immediately. As Spirit make the jump, and the rest of Xtreme Gaming, they've got to run.
XXS is very dead. No way to get out of this one.
Certainly not. He's going to get slowly but surely chased down by the four of them. As Team Spirit sweep across the map and catch out two massive picks there.
Beautiful kills. See what, and it looks like the call is just to shove down the lanes rather than look for that Roche. At least for now, Dark Ascension was used. It was scouted also. They saw Collapse port down bottom. And now it's daytime for about 90 seconds. So, yeah, they got a pretty solid hit there. BKB's finished, and now Luna's farm, because they kill Ame, Ame's going to be slowed down, and Radan's going to get a huge surge of advantage above him.
Radan's just massive.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take some serious play from kind of XXS. He's got to get the Doom in. And even with that, it's still not going to be easy. And of course, with the build...
Oh, this is clever.
What we got?
This is really clever from XG. They saw that fight happening. They probably... Yeah, they know that they can just make this move down.
Spirit's going to want to get down it, though. Yeah, the TPs are coming in, and I don't know if XG can do this fast enough. Spirit, they should have a chance of contesting this one. It's just, it's safe, it's slow. They keep themselves at high HP XG, but the damage, is it going to be quick enough?
No, this is going to be a clash.
See if Spirit can time the jump in. Roshan falling low, the kisses are coming in. Ame standing his ground and finishing off. Ame's able to get the Aegis, gets the pickup. The Doom gets dropped down, but the BKB's already out, and Radan's ready to stand his ground. They take the Aegis out of Ame's hands almost immediately. They have lost Lyle for it, so XG, they want to try and fight on potentially. 5 versus 4, so if they can get further catch. Jinkyu popping the drums, chasing Spirit. right down down the side of the lane, and they'll get the arrow connection. It looks like they'll just catch Mira as the rest of Spirit are allowed to run, but it worked out. It paid off. They get the roast just in time, XG, before Spirit initiate on them.
You lose the Aegis, but it's well worth it. You're kind of taking that one away from Spirit as well when you make this move. Spirit might look to fight soon. You see Radon's positioning. He's like, come on to this high ground. I've got Eclipse ready.
Yeah, 3 versus 5, though. It's not going to be something they'd be too happy with, indeed, unless XG walks straight into them.
Up. Yeah.
So, yeah, nice move from XG.
Very clever. I love that they went for this type of Roche play. It's very, very nice. Because you know that all of Spirit kind of split up after getting those kills. They didn't want to just straight run into the Roche, so they seized that opportunity perfectly.
XM. He's going to show himself in the mid. I mean, Radon's got the damage collapse. He's got the control. It's
They've got him. Arrow will connect, but doesn't matter. That's a huge kill.
It's always a risky thing to do when you feel as a player that things have calmed down. You can go for that tempting farm in the mid. It can cost you your life.
Especially if BKB's on cooldown. Gotta be careful versus Night Stalker. Anytime your BKB's down, he can just jump forward for you. And Radon.
Success trying to step up.
They're feeling confident to push because there's still no Doom yet. 30 seconds.
XXS. Start to tease around with XXS, but he's a tough one to go on, especially with the backup of the defense matrix coming out.
15 seconds, no storm. They'll finish it off.
They can look to move up to the top tier 2 as well. The creep wave pushing in for Spirit.
Now this Luna's farm just continues to be absolutely ridiculous. Almost have a Pavis as well, so they're starting to get these items to amplify Radon as well too. They had the pipe before, but no actual offensive buff. Now they'll have at least that Pavis for him. And always do have to keep track. There are a lot of, I think, a greater healing Lotus on Mira for any of these heals. Of course, not for his Doom. And Radon now has a Conda.
He's hitting insane time.
He is hitting, and that damage for them versus the Muerta is pretty absurd.
If they get any sort of opening and DY's not in position to try and bail out Arme out, this Muerta dies very, very quickly at the moment.
There's such a big hybrid of damage that Luna can provide that it's just difficult for Muerta to do much until you have, like, I guess now the next thing is the BKB for Ame. Because defending him is going to be pretty impossible, because versus Night Stalker, you just can't see, right?
Ooh,
one of those voids hit, you can't protect him.
Also amping up the damage output as well as he picks up the Nemesis curse.
Oh, it's a full Solar Crest on Miposhka. My bad. I thought he only had the Pavis, so they've already got that finished.
Yeah, Radon's going to be a problem.
He sure is.
In these team fights.
And Laurel now at this point also has a BKB, so he's going to be a lot harder to bring down. We saw he died in that last fight, pretty much exclusively to the Muerta's damage. Now with the BKB, Laurel might just survive as well. 10 to 12, I mean, gold, very, very even, but yeah, just Radon. Yatoro is an absolute monster in the farm. And it's just a pretty cool matchup versus that Muerta because of this beam, how much damage it does, even during the ult.
Ame, he's been found. He's going to Hurricane Pike himself out to the side. We'll be able to get the Pierce to Veil off, and the backup from XG comes in. They turn towards Radon. They're able to slam down the Doom. He's going to pop the BKB, they'll continue to push forward. Lars jumps in, and indeed Ame is left behind. They've taken down Ame. They will lose Radon, but the damage has been done. A double kill for Radon. Spirit, they'll be able to get the control on towards DY as well with the Dragon Tail. As Spirit, they'll take 3. And only
big
lose
kills.
1. It's a big one, of course, Radon going down, but 3 casualties on Xtreme Gaming to make that trade happen.
And I'm going to point out a little bit of a fun thing for people. So for people who don't know this interaction, how it works, if you're doomed and you get repelled, you actually lose HP because the strength bonus goes on you. I don't know if Miposhka just killed Yatoro, but there's a small chance that if he didn't use that repel there, I'd have to look at it to see the exact numbers of it, but you'll see when he throws it, it chunks his health by about 500 or something. So, I mean, we can look at it if you want in the replay and stuff, but just a little fun fact.
Sure, but I guess you take
I don't know if it mattered anyway.
I know
you know what I mean?
Proportionally, you're ruining his health pool, but
yeah.
you're still giving him the 60% magic resist, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Well, he's not taking magic damage from other people?
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a funny little interaction thing, but yeah, anyway.
Hang on.
Jump forward.
Lol, he's actually able to TP out of this one. Miposhka and Mira, they won't be quite as lucky. Xtreme Gaming, they'll be able to punish the 2 supports. The Team Spirit stick around a little too long.
Good return kills. They will lose their tower there. They're getting the supports.
I check out the replay.
I mean, we want to see the replay anyway because this was a very good fight for Spirit, just diving forward. And Ame, you see how susceptible he is to this magical burst. But you can watch a Luna's HP as soon as he gets Heavenly Grace, watch his HP. You see how it like chunks a bit? It's like this weird kind of.
I mean, I think it did go from like it was hundreds of HP.
Yeah.
He effectively loses.
I mean, he was probably dead anyway. But I was just pointing out a fun little mechanic thing for those.
And it's basically because he's been given the strength, so his max HP can go up, but because he's doomed, the actual HP can't.
Yeah.
He's got some smiles on his face there, so.
Either way, I mean, they got
maybe the agreeing is like, hey, bro, I didn't need the repel.
I think he was dead anyway.
I think he probably was. He probably was. Either way, they were happy with that. They got 3 kills.
But they did lose heroes on the
They did lose the heroes after, and XM, of course, getting both of those kills. That's going to help propelling him towards his next time. Looks like he's going to be wanting to go for the Aghanims next on the Storm, have that bit of AoE control, something else to sort of allow them to get in, and maybe find an easy way of getting a connection onto Meposhka before he can get these saves off.
Hey, to be honest, they need it pretty desperately. They have pretty much no control, no real catch on their lineup that is that great. So yeah, that Aghanims definitely will be pretty nice for him. You also get the Arcane Rune at the end of it too, so potentially for that next fight, we'll have to see if that's a X factor. Seeing Laurel's next itemization, when you're playing versus Tinker, this tends to be picked up quite early on, that Nullifier. It's definitely going to be very important, just burn these heroes down.
Radiant
And honestly, next fight, we should start to see the full potential of Armea, Phil, because he's close to level 18, and he's close to his BKB.
Yeah.
And sure, there's still that gap between him and the Luna, but there's every reason to believe if he can find his position in the team fight, get the BKB, get the ult off, Muerta can still do a hell of a lot of damage.
And this game in particular is one where heroes can just explode in a heartbeat. If there's a 3-man vortex or something, let's say when the Storm gets the pull, everybody could just die. Well, on the flip side, if Spirit gets a good initiation, Yatoro could just absolutely wipe everybody anyway, too. So, yeah, some explosive team fights that are definitely going to come out in these next few moments. Smoked up from XG. As you said, playing around this BKB timing of Ame.
I mean, he'd love to have that little bit of XP that he needs to push him over to the level 3 of Pierce the Veil, but sometimes honestly, when you got to fight, you got to fight.
All 3 cores on them are all 17.
They're very close, yeah.
It would be nice to have those 18s, but they want to take advantage of this timing. And Laurel actually goes Bloodthorn, and Collapse finishes up the Nullifier for himself, so swapping the items a little bit. They've got 2 big item timings.
Indeed, if they get that Nullifier and Bloodthorn down on a single target, they should have no trouble shredding through them.
Yep, and Radon is very close to Lincoln's also to block, and oh my goodness, of course he would find it, the amplify damage.
Watch out for this Luna!
And Yatoro, sorry, Radon has hit 20, right? So he's got this level 20 talent that's also crazy in these fights.
Oh, man. Okay, Radon will show himself. Okay. So now at least Xtreme Gaming, they know. They know there's an amplified damage Luna coming their way. Let's see if it scares them off, or if they're going to say that they don't care and they're ready to fight regardless.
Yeah, I mean, he broke that smoke because the beam with the lunicence, or the beam with the glaives bouncing, so whoopsie.
So Xtreme, sensibly so, they go fully defensive, making sure that Team Spirit aren't able to sneak up with this double damage Radon.
They killed those Ancients, so what does that mean? Muerta is 18, Storm is 18.
There we go.
Not quite Doom yet, but the other 2, the big important ones.
Could make the difference.
Spirit in position.
Roshan, what's the time? 1.5 minutes until we see his beautiful face again.
Spirit have the high ground in the mid lane. I mean, it's just some range creeps, but it is triple range creeps. They can start to work on the racks a little. They have a Tinker, so they'll be able to address it.
Yeah, DY's doing a lot. He's getting a fair bit out of the map during these kind of stealth moments in which the rest of the team's having to group up and go.
Oh, these are tense moments.
I mean, both teams are still hungry for a fight. They're not afraid of one another. They both feel strong.
Both playing just around their vision.
Well, that's the creep gone, so not going to be able to get away with that DY, but he's going to be ready to go again if there's another entrance into the team fight.
Radon also has now shown, I mean, twice, but just in case they didn't notice the first time, has the Lincolns.
Yeah.
So, XXS, he has the Purge creep to be able to break it. It does have to be sure to do so.
And absolutely wants to keep doing this. Sure, Radon's able to get out a lot of damage, but pretty much getting the Doom on him gives them a solid chance of bringing down Radon, whatever else happens in the team fight.
Yeah, I mean, you absolutely have to throw it onto him.
Smoke time for both squads.
Oh, both really want to get the jump.
Who's going to walk into who first?
Meposhka.
Oh, it's going to dispel it on Xtreme. They're going to put the Shiva's Guard. XXS is in. He's looking for his target. Radon's going to put the man in. To take the Linkers off. Get the Doom down. XXS finds his target. They've taken out Meposhka. Now they'll turn towards Collapse, push him out to the side of the fight. XM, he's in with the control. Towards Radon. The dead shot comes in from behind. They're taking Radon down. The buyback's going to come out here from Meposhka. Team Spirit Can they really still find a fight out of this? I don't think so. They've lost Radar. There's no fight left to be had. And into the tree line, they're even going to find Collapse as well. Xtreme Gaming, beautiful way to start things off there. The smoke gets dispelled. XXS, he's not scared at all.
Nope.
Goes straight in, finds his target, and makes sure, I believe what with the Purge creep active, plays around the Manta, takes off the Lincolns, gets the Doom down onto Radar.
And Radon tried to do the little, Manta kind of tricky play there, but it doesn't matter. XXS, he got it.
He did.
Perfect target. Couldn't ask for a better initiation, couldn't ask for the better fight, and the damage, there it is from the Muerta with the Solar Flare. That's the fight they needed to blow the game open. And, the greediness of their draft, it really wasn't punished enough, it feels like. Now
Check
they've
this out again.
a huge timing.
This is XXS straight in, and immediately he knows what's up, knows who to deal with, gets that Doom in, and at that point, the fight, it gets awkward.
Yep.
You've got Arme in perfect position, splitting them up. Team Spirit, they cannot fight on. XM follows up on towards Radon, make sure that there's nothing to be done. They get huge kills, and they now start to grow a pretty significant advantage considering how close this game's been on the numbers. It's now an 8K lead for Xtreme Gaming. They're pushing on, and they're starting to catch up. That sort of distance between Radon and XG's carries, it's going to start closing.
Yeah, I think that was, by far the most important fight for them. They've now got every single timing. Aghanims is done on the Storm. The support, the greed, everything is absolutely paid off for them.
It really has. Team Spirit, they've got a lot of problems to deal with now.
Yep. And I love that XXS is doing this. We saw Gunner in particular the other day, a couple of these Dooms, of course, too, but having this Purge creep, as you said, it's so important just having this extra Lincolns. But besides that, I actually saw him trying to Purge allies as well versus, like, Bloodthorn and stuff like that. So this creep, it's very powerful. And yeah, XG now with a huge surge of momentum.
Absolutely, and the damage that Arme's going to start doing is going to start getting ridiculous. The Daedalus very close to being finished.
That was really loud for me. I don't know about you, but the nightmare. And just to highlight a few other things, Jin-Q, it's been a little bit quiet from him, I would say, just in terms of like arrows and all these type of crazy stuff, but look at his items. It's like the dream to play with this if you are a carry. You've got Solar Crest, you've got Vlad's drums, and then the Solar Flare, of course, that comes out. So much amp up for this Muerta now at this point. And the Aghanims, it's done for the Storm. Radon, continue pressuring bottom. But they have to find a way to just, they have to find a way to just make sure that Radon doesn't get doomed, it feels like.
Yeah, item-wise, it's got to be exactly what he's going for. Getting the Shadow Blade into the Silver Edge so he can make sure that at the start of these movements, the start of these fights, he's under the cover of the Invis. And then it suddenly becomes that extra level of difficulty for XXS to find him first.
Yeah, I think that's like the only, it's starting to feel like maybe one of the few ways that Spirit can actually bring this game back into some comfort is only if Radon doesn't get doomed, but yeah. Not going to be easy at this point now. Ame, a full Daedalus onto the high ground. Level 20's been hit also.
He's getting to do exactly what he hoped to do. From the sounds of it, before this draft, before this game even started, he turned up today wanting to play some Muerta. It's starting to look pretty darn good now.
He's 2-4-8, so it's not been the most explosive one from him, but he's the concept of it.
He's got the items. It's at this point when you got your Mayone, your Daedalus, you're good to go.
Now he's the carry.
You know that heroes are going to get absolutely destroyed by the amount of damage that's going to be coming out from you during the Pierce the Veil.
Yeah.
They take the barracks. Not a lot the Team Spirit could do, not anything they could do to stop that from happening. Xtreme Gaming, they are definitely in the driver's seat right now. Spirit,
they look like they're going to keep going.
Crazy, and XM, he's ready with jumping up to the high ground. Guardian Angel comes out. Lyle considering turning with the BKB over towards XM, but XM was also able to get the BKB out and zap away.
This damage is crazy with Solar Flare.
Look at this, the barracks. A second set of racks just melting. Team Spirit have to put the fortification. They've got to do something soon, but still into this minute and a half or so left on the Aegis of Arme.
And everyone's got, Solar Flare's down, but Doom is at the ready. Spirit, they're starting to inch their way forward, but DK form, it's gone. Difficult place to fight under here.
Spirit stepping outside of the base, but XG there. Kind of hovering in the shadows.
Ame.
Ame's going to show. Just a bit of a bait, if anything.
1 minute. See if Spirit can even find an opportunity to capitalize as this Aegis is getting reclaimed. Because the gold, everyone's just starting to get richer and richer. Xingqiu.
Oh, they're going to make the jump. They're going to try and get the Piranha first. Easily able to take down Xingqiu. Now the Kiss is coming in from the high ground. There's a lot of damage being kicked out here by Mira. Arme's getting low. They've been able to burst through the Aegis. A buyback immediately comes out from Xingqiu. Xtreme want to make sure they're in position to try and keep Arme safe. He's still got the BKB and the Pierce the Veil to play around with if he does get jumped by Spirit. Spirit, they're considering if they can make another move out of this.
Watch the patience from XM. He has been watching and waiting, looking for an opportunity to get the pull if they overcommit.
Arme's ready to open up onto him, and the damage comes out. It's an immediate kill. An immediate kill there from the two of them. Collapse and Radahn.
The Silver Edge.
They completely evaporate him.
I mean, what, double Havoc Hammer into Silver Edge sneak up onto him. That was totally unexpected.
Yeah, he wasn't ready for that one, Arme.
60 seconds. Actually, some time perhaps that they can look for a push and maybe try to force something here.
Okay. See what Spirit can get done.
That was very unexpected.
Yeah. And now Spirit. They're up to the high ground of Xtreme Gaming. XM's going to try and start the fire. He's in with the Vortex. Straight away in response. And Lars in with the stone on towards XXS. Follow from Collapse. They're bringing him down low on the Doom. Can they finish what they can? They've killed XXS off.
Oh,
and now they can continue to push on towards the barracks.
Oh, this is massive.
Trying to keep them pushed back. The fortification will come out. Still 30 seconds until Arme's back up. XXS dead for a minute. Does have the option of buyback.
He had cooldown on BKB. He walked up without that BKB and gets caught.
I mean, just underestimating the damage that Spirit are able to come out with.
Spirit showing they've still got
the second fortification coming out here from Xtreme. 10 seconds until Arme's up.
Trying to get as much as physically possible. 40 seconds. They can keep going to just try to maybe force a Doom buyback.
I mean, Radahn, he's got Eclipse up in 5 seconds. He's got BKB in 10. He's going to get jumped here. There's going to be the two-man vortex coming out for XM. Have they got the follow to take out Radahn? No, Radahnn's able to sneak away with the Silver Edge. Repel thrown down onto Collapse. Down to BKB. Collapse is going to go for the BKB TP. Spirit, they're just going to bail out of this. Mirror, is he able to get out with the TP in time? Anything to stop him? There isn't. Mirror escapes. They've got a sentry down from Maposhka. He'll prop the Guardian Angel, but Maposhka will get left behind. So Xtreme Gaming, they'll get the 2 kills. Able to take down Lyle, take down Maposhka, but it does require that buyback from XXS to come out.
Dude, but this Silver Edge is working. I cannot believe how much it's actually able to get done there. It gets the kill on Ame to cause this type of spiral effect that just causes, I mean, yeah, XG to pretty much be in panic to have to defend these Raxes, and they still end up losing a full set and the range Rax. Super impressive stuff, but XG, it feels like with this, they're going to look to push down the mid lane.
Let's see what they can do. They're very close as well to having the money for Arme to have the safety of buyback. He's just under 200 gold short of it.
XXS has to be incredibly careful, though.
Look at Radahn. He's kind of making this move pretty solo. I mean, there's an amplified damage rune there. He's incredibly tempted, but he's not going to go for it. Far too risky with him being on his own. And now this push is going to come in with Arme having an amplified damage rune in the bottle. He's ready to pop it, get it out now. I believe he's got the full Lincolns coming out as well.
There's no
Arme, he's ready to go again.
Yeah, there's no glyph for this high ground either.
Radahn, he's hit the 25.
I'm just watching for the flank positioning of him, really.
10 seconds until they've got Maposhka up. The mid-racks, Xtreme Gaming, they're able to claim them this time round. And again,
this game is wild.
It's stepping up to be one of those games, you know, 18 to 18. It's not a huge amount of kills of 42 minutes in, but this game is delivering.
The smoke up XG, they want to try to catch them off guard here. They still got a little bit of left of the amp damage.
He's going to try to jump. He goes straight towards Radahn. Radahnn's able to get the BKB and the clips up, but he's been caught by the Doom.
This damage.
He's falling so fast, he's got to buy back immediately. Collapse. Jumping over towards the supports in the back lines. The Doom did get reflected, so XXS has to back out of the fight for now. Collapse, he's in on top of GQ, takes him down. Lyle's getting low, but Arme, he's the first to fall, and Lyle, he's ready to jump in and look for more. XM has to go for the ball lightning TP if they got anything to stop it. They don't.
Look at these death timers.
Uh-oh.
Wait a minute. 80 seconds no muerto, 100 on Marana and Doom.
Oh, Arme had money for buyback. I guess he spent up on the Lincoln's orb, the ultimate orb, to get the Lincoln sphere. So he doesn't have buyback.
They might. Oh my, okay. XM and DY might, they have to kind of cut this creep wave in the mid lane.
XM will care.
He missed.
He missed?
He missed. They popped Glyph also, but he missed.
Well, he'll get this creep wave at least. Yeah, there's one of them heading straight towards the base of Xtreme Gaming.
Laurel?
It's 2 versus 5.
Oh, and they might just be able to end this.
I think they have. They're going to be able to do it.
He buys a Moon Shard on Radahn. They're looking to close it out. There's no glyph.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, no way. This is how it ends.
They're onto the tier 4s. They don't have the buybacks. XXS is on cooldown. Arme doesn't have the money. It's absolutely over.
It's over.
Ladies and gentlemen, Team Spirit onto the Ancient. They'll take game 1.
What is going on? This game was unbelievable.
He's already not playing. Okay, Verse Sniper is good, but I don't think he might be good into Mars and Storm. and also Morph, we can jump on him, and we have massive team fight. In my opinion, it's a really hard game for Sniper.
Let's see if that does end up being the case. Thank you very much, Time. A lot of confidence here. Let's get into the game with OD and Fogged. Thank you very much.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're already getting some action here around the bounty runes. It doesn't look like they're going to get the catch here with the Brambles, but yeah, this game 2 draft, indeed, the Sniper coming out for XM to close things up. It's a strong pick, right, Fogged? It's one of his best.
It's one of his best, but
there's a lot of heroes that can get on top of him,
yes.
But there is also decent save, right? He
Yes.
can rely on the Tusk, on the Tinker to bail him out if things start to look tough in a team fight.
Exactly. That's kind of the thing that I'm going to be looking at. It does look, I mean, it doesn't look as greedy by any means this time around from XG. Just, yeah, how much is this Sniper going to be able to do and how much are they going to be able to protect him? Once they start collapsing, there's a Storm, there's that Mars. There's going to be multiple different heroes that are just jumping on top of him. And the other thing to point out, of course, it's a Storm Morphling lineup that isn't really versus most stuns. It is a little bit lackluster on that one. So we'll see how it ends up going down. Whoop, no one saw that.
Yeah, let's do it indeed. I mean, yeah, because the talk of the timings for both of these lineups, it's a lot of pressure that can come in from Xtreme Gaming, which we saw, but last game, Xtreme Gaming, despite the fact that it looked like they had a greedier draft, they were very active early on. They were looking to get a lot done very early on, and for the most part, it was kind of working out for them.
It was. No, absolutely. I mean, XM, I felt like he actually played miraculously as the Storm Spirit. He was kind of like leading the charge, finding so many of these great pickoffs. Same thing for XXS. Every one of the Dooms, it was on Radon, right? Every single one did catch him. Of course, there was a bit of reflect that happened at the end of the game there that was unfortunate for them, but that was a really, really fun game. Did not expect it to go like that. And yeah, let's see what the results of the lanes come out, because that's why they wanted this Sniper. Sure, later on, might be some problems of like the jumping on top, but in the lane in particular, should be a good matchup to at least slow down that Storm's momentum. And I think that's kind of what XG was looking for. Maybe across the board. All three of their lanes are very strong. The Tusk Visage we've seen time and time again throughout this tournament. Tons of damage, explosive throughout most of the game. And Luna +1 just seems super strong. Luna plus any of these defensive supports, Tree, Tusk, Tinker, etc.
Absolutely. You can only imagine after that game 1 that Arme was very much hungry to have a bit of a go back on the Luna himself after that level, game 1 Radon performance.
Yep, XM is getting a lot of denies here. 13-7 already at this point.
We have seen some of these mid-sniper players do this, just completely annihilate their opponent's laning phase. Something happening here from XM's performance. Soul Assumption not going to quite
the salve!
enough.
He pops the salve for even like a split second. I think it maybe saves him.
I think you're right. I think it was going down otherwise.
Holy moly. Not going to have that one for later on, but...
Yeah, but look at this. All three lanes. Xtreme Gaming. That's a hot start.
Absolutely. And yeah, you can definitely see why they want... You know, they're putting people on very comfortable and just wanting to be as comfortable as possible with XM playing this Sniper. So, Mira. Trading with DY. Looks like he wants to prevent the hard camp from spawning. Oh man, Laurel.
It's getting very close to the what can you do kind of part of the laning phase here for the Storm against the Sniper. He's getting the salves out. He's used his bottle charges.
And look at the sentries that Team Spirit did place though below here for Laurel. They want to ensure that Laurel, he knows he's going to lose his mid. He has to just go farm jungle at some point, right? So making sure that these aren't blocked early on. Looks like it was something very important for them in terms of that matchup.
Both of the main cores off to a good start. Radon's still getting good farm down bottom. 16 and 6 being picked up in the lane against these two. As we saw Mid-Poshka, he has to be careful, but Radon doing well on these early levels against the potential aggression that XXS can come in with those threatening bursts of Soul Assumptions.
Yeah, playing it nicely. Able to get some good trades. Mid-Poshka always wants to be the one to, you know, soak a little bit of that for Radon, as we'll be able to back away. Drinking Buddy's not going to connect.
But
yeah,
this mid
matchup is just absurd.
Oh, as I said, we've seen this before. I can't remember what game it was. It was in the Falcons versus Tundra, right? It was when Malorine was playing some Sniper.
It was.
Was that
Malorine versus?
Was it 1 win?
1 win.
It was
1W. Yeah.
Yeah, that game as well. Sniper.
That was Chira Jr. just getting straight up bullied by the Sniper. Right?
I mean, that's what's happening here at XM versus Lal.
I want to see what build he does, because we did see Malorine did go the Gleipnir build that game, which was kind of cool because they wanted. I mean, they were so far ahead that game, but wanted extra catch. Could be similar. They might want extra catch versus the Morphin that Storm.
And it's also worth noting as well, this game XM has the ghillie suit. I think Marin had the other one, right?
He did.
So a bit of variety there between these mid snipers.
Very true.
Complete domination in this mid. The levels, it's going to take a lot of catching up for Lal. He's going to have to find some sort of space and time to recover.
He's gotten only 50 on it. Mira!
Why? Actually getting the burst in time, not able to TP out under the cover of the Shadow Realm. First blood for the Tinker.
Might be able to get a side pull off of that kill too if they clear these two creeps very quickly. Could deny some XP as well from Collapse. Only gonna get one of the range creeps, but Collapse also sitting low HP up here. They might look for a dive play.
It's gotta be careful, Collapse.
This is cool. DY actually puts the second point in laser too. Sometimes you see only the 1 point and they start going barrier. He's feeling good because he can get aggressive.
Yeah, I think he feels that at this point, Team Spirit, unlikely to be able to get into a position to get aggressive onto the two of them. So offense is the best defense here at the moment for this Tinker in the lane.
Very, very true. Miposhka, he's got the dive. Should be just fine. Miposhka's starting to move around, it seems like, trying to get some stacks going, perhaps for the Storm Spirit. Try to get a rune. I think he knows that Radon now at this point with the points in wave form should be pretty okay to stay bottom. Has a raindrop as well. So trying to stabilize the mid, but we're seeing the rotations. XG, they want to power up XM. They've got a catapult wave here.
Absolutely. They know that anybody gets near to this sniper, XM, with this lead that he has, he's going to be able to shoot them down pretty quickly.
His damage is very high too. It's only level 1 drinking buddies, but it's still quite a bit that gets added through.
6 minutes in. Tower starting to fall. They'll have to put the fortification. Miposhka starting to throw out some fire.
Trying to stabilize the mid, but we're seeing the rotations. XG, they want to power up XM. They've got a catapult wave here.
Absolutely. They know that anybody gets near to this sniper, XM, with this lead that he has, he's going to be able to shoot them down pretty quickly.
His damage is very high too. It's only level 1 drinking buddies, but it's still quite a bit that gets added through.
6 minutes in. Tower starting to fall. They'll have to put the fortification. Miposhka starting to throw out some fire spirits, slow down the attack speed, try and slow down this early siege from XM.
Hey, look at Laurel. Level 4, he's starting to clear this hard camp stack at the least to start to catch back up. But the supports now having to sit mid to soak. XQ still waiting. Just to keep tabs of him. Does mean that Collapse is left on his own because they want to be able to. They want to put these two supports here to try to protect Laurel. A rough start for him. Which means that level 6, you know, it comes out so much later. So XM overall, it's going to be quite a bit tankier when it comes out. So perhaps we'll just survive even if they do make an aggressive move onto the sniper when the Storm has 6. He's level 7 on sniper with treads, 10 wand. He's got a raindrop too, and he's just taking out this tower from the distance.
Top lane as well, Collapse. He's got the stick charges to rely on, but being kept incredibly low by the two of them. Oh man, DY.
Yeah, it's really nice having these like double, triple burst kind of versus even Mars, who can be a bit sustainable. And this mid tower, it's dropping.
Yeah, I mean, look at this, 7.5 minutes in. I mean, XM, he's going to be able to take this one pretty much as quickly as what the DK was able to take the last game tower.
Pretty much the same, yeah.
Yeah,
and he's got a
7 minutes in.
Full two levels over Laurel still. XM.
He's just stepping up.
Look at how confident he is.
My goodness. He's not scared at all of them, I guess, rightfully so. I mean, what Team Spirit going to do about this sniper at this point? I don't know. I mean, it's
a
honestly,
bit
it's going to have to just be a waiting game for them to get the ults online right. If they have the ultimates, then maybe they can make a play onto XM. Until that, this sniper feels kind of untouchable.
Until Storm has 6. Like, it doesn't, the supports, they need some levels, but the Storm 6 is the gap close, so they need that one in particular versus XM. Radon, though, will be able to close the gap. XM, he's got backup, and that was an aggressive waveform, so Radon, perhaps in trouble.
See, I mean, XM playing to the side of this. Fire Spirits are connecting. He's able to turn with the Assassinate.
Another waveform's up.
It's not quite enough burst, so Radon's able to get out of there. They'll turn into the river towards GQ with a Vortex. Level 6 is hit by Lal. He zips forward.
He's out of mana.
And the snowball's there. They turn with the stun. Lal, is it going to end up going down in the river? Team Spirit, they can't fight into Xtreme right now. Xtreme around XM Sniper. They're too strong.
These lens are devastating. A 3K lead
Collapse
already.
does have the arena.
Okay.
See if they can do it here. They've got the lockdown. They'll get him. All right, Collapse. Ready to shake the game up a bit, turn up and find some action. It's a big one, taking out the sniper. course, still overall, Xtreme holding an incredible lead here this early on, 2 to 3K advantage at 9 minutes in. But it's something, you know, Collapse, he's ready to do some heavy lifting in this early game.
Yeah, it's a necessary move, though. He just has to kind of leave away from top lane. It's not like he was getting too much out of there anyway. Radon doesn't get the last hit, but either way, good chunk of gold. And he's only, what, 300 behind his counterparts? Not too shabby for the Morph. Laurel, though, paying the price, trying to go for that kill, does get punished.
Yeah, let's see how well Lol can recover.
Stacks, right? That's got to be the name of the game for this Storm to recover. As bottom, heavy damage onto this tower. XM trying to get a nice advantage for himself here.
Some really, really good early tower pushes here from Xtreme this game. Pre-10 minutes, 2 tier 1s to be taken.
Oh, and look at XXS. He is going to be going down at least some type of catch on this Visage, so the Atos is going to be the choice for him. Yeah, I like it. I mean, we've seen Gleipnir sometimes on these Visage when they have the other facet, but could even be a possibility even with this one. Just any type of catch. And Stacks now being taken here. DY is going to at least start to work on them a little bit here. And Ame getting that crazy free farm, level 8. And he has gone for the Mask of Madness, so we'll be able to just run around the map with that one too. Get the farm increased even more so. And DY can look to defend any of these towers if Ame wants to just go jungle as well too for some time.
And with this sort of lead that Xtreme have right now, you know, if your Team Spirit, you know, Collapse, he's got the Arena of Blood back online. Do you avoid fights, or do you as Spirit try to slow Xtreme Gaming down by getting offensive and trying to do something each time you have the arena ready?
That's a good question, honestly. After that last game, I feel like it's tough to tell because I feel like XG, even when they didn't have the best tools of fighting, they were just forcing it. Maybe Spirit will be a little bit more hesitant. So I think maybe they will try to slow it down a little bit. Because supports are also pretty low level, right? Miposhka is still 5, Mira still 4, so even with a arena, they need 2 cores. They can't have like a support plus a core looking for these kills. So they'll have to bring either Laurel or Radon to look for kills with a arena.
Yeah, for sure. Because that last sort of situation in the jungle where Collapse was able to get the kill on XM with the first arena was definitely quite a bit of a perfect one, right? There wasn't either of the supports from Xtreme Gaming set up to back up XM. If there's even just sort of one of them, Collapse alone, it's unlikely to get the kill on XM.
And top, looks like they're going to put XXS in the more scary lane, the more scary position. They're like, okay, you want to make an aggressive move? You'll have to make it on the Visage, so swapping the positions there. Ame now going to just be able to farm Ancients. And they're going to be able to hold this tower and maybe even make their own aggressive move. I believe that is the Atos finished up here on XXS. The Courier, though, I believe they're going to see that. I don't know if they're going to actually see the full delivery, but they saw it do something in the jungle there. So might be aware of a smoke. And they're going to throw the scan down. So yeah, they did see that.
Collapse. Just going to have to be careful about how he walks into this.
He seems to be aware.
And they're watching him from the high ground. They get the Atos set up into the stuns of the familiar. Snowball and Shards will catch him, but he'll drop the arena down in return. Get the spear connection in on towards Xingqiu. Xingqiu pulls himself to the side with the drinking buddy.
Radon is in.
Go down. Radon fully committing him for the fight. He's ticking down low, trying to run away from all of this. Can he get away?
He just hit 6 on Phoenix.
Radon's going to survive. The Supernova's out. Can they take the egg down in time? They can.
Denied.
They bring the egg down. Indeed, Mira actually helping out there to make sure they don't get the kill from it. There's still the fight falling into Xtreme's hands as they get the double kill on XS. They start to back off Mira. He's getting peeped at by XM. He's also going to fall. They're trying their best to kill this sniper. Look at the fire spirits onto him, slowing down his attack speed. XM being bullied back by Miposhka, but he's cost this buyback from Miposhka. I mean, Poshka, he may just go down again. He's going to try and samurai up to the high ground, but the snowballs into the punch from Xingqiu will cause it to be a dieback on the Phoenix. Xtreme Gaming just continuing to push the advantage.
All right, that says desperation, if anything. Ame's free farming during all of it. He's looking over. He's like, hey, guys, you having fun over there? You guys just fought 4 versus 6 potentially there and ended up ahead. The sniper just sits there and peeps the entire duration of the team fight. Bit awkward for Team Spirit. I mean, they kind of were forcing it with Collapse walking in there. Radon, I can't believe he actually ends up surviving all of it.
He was lucky to get away there, Radon, living on the edge. But in this sort of game, he knows he's got to try and make some crazy plays.
It does feel like it at this point.
It's a difficult one. It's one that he has to turn up to try and just commit and offer everything that he can have while staying alive. He's got to really sort of dance on the edge
Yeah,
to try and hold this one together for Spirit because they're falling behind.
Falling behind massively. And the big thing really there too is the Phoenix, I think Medusa got 6 off of one of the kills in the middle of it, but they didn't have 6 on Mira. It's a very late one, so no fear to cover that egg. If they had that, potentially could get a turn, but instead he has to deny the egg. So now they're going to be able to walk in and actually steal away some of these stacks that Spirit was really trying to defend. They're getting so much in this early game.
Yeah, they're crushing this early game. Xtreme
Top tower is under attack.
all sort of spiraling out of control after what was a very tough matchup in the mid for Lal to play. Still trying to recover.
Oh, and very cool. XXS, he's actually just gonna, it's just an Atos, which this I actually like way better. Atos into these auras, let XM go for the Gleipnir for that scaling. You're an offlaner. You don't have to go full all-out scaling with this type of lineup when then you have a Luna and a Sniper. So I like that he's going for this type of, yeah, just normal build, go these auras, let your carries do the carrying. As Ame, just a complete free game for him. Radon, still having decent farm, honestly. The Manta, he's only, I mean, about 1,000 gold behind, but all things considered with how devastating the game's been going, just have to give him some credit for it.
And they've got the blink on collapse. And as you say, the 6s are finally there on both supports. So the team fight can come out.
Well, they have the problem could start to be damage though, because this sniper now has the vitality booster. So XM, he's got what 1,500 plus HP on strength treads in these fights. Not the most fragile of targets anymore with the farm that they've been able to get after these first 15. So have to see how those jumps go.
And Ame with the Manta recipe soon coming out. I mean, he's getting very close to being ready to join the rest of the team for these pushes. And we've seen already how much Xtreme's been able to do. Pretty much 4 versus 5 in most scenarios. So you throw an extra farmed Loon on top of that all, and you're going to struggle.
They can force a Roche. They've got the sustain, they've got the damage.
They've got the timings, they're straight in.
And Spirit fighting up here, definitely not an option. So let's see if they just look to push out these lanes in the meantime, or try to catch if somebody is split. I mean, XM, he finds a haze, so should be pretty safe. Yeah, this Roche, it's free. And there's that full Gleipnir, so extra control. Atos and Gleipnir, now they've got the catch versus this Storm and Morphling for sure as the game progresses. Getting these so early on. XM.
They're looking for XM. He's able to play to the distance. They have the vision, but can they get the catch? They're going to try. They're in on top of him. They've got the arena, they've got the spear. TP's coming in, doesn't matter. XM's gone.
Very nice play.
But it's something, but again, overall Xtreme, I don't think they'll mind paying the price too much because they do get that Aegis onto Ame.
Absolutely. But it's something, you know, Spirit gets what they can get out of it.
It's a trade.
Yeah, it's some type of trade at least. Ame is showing a bit far forward alone. They are pinging him out, but they don't know where the rest are just yet, so not going to look to make that aggressive move onto him.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Radon, there's a flank here. Look at this position from Ame.
Manta has already been popped as well, so he has no Dispel available.
What a play. Nice move from Ame. Radon not expecting that rotation. So far, pretty much picture perfect for Xtreme out of these lanes. Not much more you could ask for. Sure, your sniper gets caught once, but everything else has just been going beautifully. Tricore farming well, your greedy Tinker's getting his items online, and now they're looking to smoke. Want to put more pressure on. Especially now that this Morph is dead.
If they can sweep into the ancient triangle area of Team Spirit, XG stand a high chance of finding a big kill.
And the scans right on
They're
top
going
of
to
him.
catch Collapse.
This is looking real difficult for Spirit. They're unable to get any space on the map. The second somebody shows, they just get ran at from 3-4 heroes.
Yeah, Xtreme Gaming's draft this game too just seems perfect for the way that they've come in and want to play Dota, play the game against Team Spirit.
I mean, they were fighting last game when they had a bit of a greedy draft.
Yeah.
This time when they don't have a greedy draft, they're just kind of picking every single one of these battles.
It's working fantastically.
It's to the high ground already.
Yep.
What are you going to do, Spirit?
18 minutes in, they got to do something.
So much damage. Throw the drinking buddy onto the familiar for that big DPS. Mira looking to cut away, maybe.
Okay. will be able to do so. They haven't got any creeps in, so the backdoor protection will kick in pretty soon. So this will cause Xtreme to have to back up for now, but they've still got plenty of time to try and push on with that Aegis. Still 2.5 minutes left on Arme's Aegis, and Eclipse is going to be up very shortly.
Spirit, I feel like they just kind of have to go for some type of YOLO play.
It's a risky one.
This game is just looking pretty out of hand if they don't catch XG off guard somehow. But this is not an easy fight by any means.
They've got the combo.
The egg is online, and I believe Medusa did buy Shard, so he's got the upgraded Sunray. I mean, they need every little bit of damage they can get, it feels like.
Collapse
right
has got to get an insane arena to start this off.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Pretty much every single ultimate has to come perfectly, and even then, we'll see if it's enough.
What can they do here? XXS watching from the high ground, collapses in with the jump. He's going to start things straight around to the Vicious. They're going to throw everything down onto XXS.
It's quite a bit committed, though, as you said. Almost everything used onto him. They still have an egg.
Xtreme Gaming definitely showing that even with their Visage gone, they are not scared of Team Spirit.
No, definitely not. Yeah, tons expended there too. Collapse just gonna look to grab that next wave. So at least they've halted a bit of their momentum, at least with the Visage push. But XG still staying in the area. And Radon, he has shown in the lane with an Eagle Song, so the potential of, if they want to go, you know, queue up any MKBs or anything, I don't know if they're even going to want that because I think they want to look to close this game up.
I think so. They just want to survive and hit the base, hit the objectives. They don't really care too much about hitting heroes right now. They know how much damage they can do here so early on, 20 minutes in.
This Rax is gone.
Tier 2's, of course, still standing in the side lane, so Xtreme will have to back off for those. Indeed, this mid Rax gone. Everything continuing to go to plan here for Xtreme.
And Ame, Radon actually shows himself top. Okay, he'll just TP out. I was about to say, if he doesn't TP, he's probably going to get cut off. That does mean, though, XG can steal away the Wisdom and potentially the Tormentor. DY will get caught. And I mean, Medusa's kind of setting himself up over here toward the Tormentor.
They want to try and fight. I mean, Spirit, they know that they cannot back down. They have to somehow put a stop to this progression from Xtreme. 15 seconds. Aegis is going to be gone, so Spirit will have that little bit of a window to try and get out and catch Xtreme at a moment where they're fallen back and potentially split up. The smoke comes out.
They're going for it again. Yeah, they're really just trying to catch them off guard, it seems like here.
Collapse.
But look at the line drawn. It looks like XG's very well aware of this. Look at Jinkyu's positioning.
He's going to go straight in for the jump. Collapse. No hesitation. He sees a chance to get a kill, get a jump. He'll go for it. This time, just the support, just Jinkyu and something. Still not any of the sort of the big key kills that they would really hope for. You know, killing off Arme at this point, that's going to get them a lot of money. They can find this Luna.
That's a big if. How big he is now at this point too. BKB's done after the Manta, so and not easy. It's also those saves, right? The Tinker and the Tusk are always going to be that problem unless somehow they can isolate with an arena to block a vision, but I don't think that's going to be the case. They usually have a way to get vision inside of there, either from the sniper or from Tusk shards or Visage familiars. They have a lot of different mechanics to not really worry about the mechanic of blood sport. And the push looks like it's going to continue.
I guess the question really is, you know, Xtreme, do you think they'll look to try and push for high ground, or will they wait for the next Aegis? How much can they get away with?
They can threaten. It's a little scary, but I think threatening is fine. Just a couple pokes because you have these Visage familiars and all these auras. The familiars do a ton of damage with the Luna aura plus the drinking buddies. Arena in 20.
Tier 3. It's going to be taken down slowly but surely. The fortification comes out. Was it a little more time?
DY just throwing barriers onto absolutely everybody.
I see how much they respect that arena timing, as you say. It's back off cooldown. Collapse has got it ready to go. Do Xtreme Gaming care, though? Continue to push on. Tier 3 gone. Collapse. He's going to see his chance to jump. They're going to get the opening and on towards Armin. Forces out the mantle, back off. Radon, he's caught in the front. Will wait for back just in time.
Oh.
Collapse still waiting.
The buildings are going
down.
down.
They are going down. They're onto the barracks. And then further vision on towards Collapse. They're going to be able to get on top of him with the stone, but they get a punch up. Arena is out, catching the two of them. Jump forward from Lal, but Lal, he's getting melted, has to back off with the ball lightning. Save him except for Radan. Caught by the laser beam. Will get the waveform off. But they lose Collapse. Radan and Lal having to retreat back to the fountain. Xtreme Gaming, they get the job done once again.
And back to healing everyone up. DY, he's here. Laurel shows bottom. They're going to smoke. They're going to look for the jump on him, maybe two. 92 Raxes have been claimed. XG knows how far ahead they are at the moment. They even popped the glyph on the wave.
Lal. He'll get away, but he wasn't able to clear the complete creep wave.
There's one left.
As indeed, one creep's all they need to get through. Get rid of that backdoor protection.
Yep, heal it up. Give it a solar crest. Give it anything you can. The hero creep to go for the final set of racks. The
Really feels like it's going to be one more chance here for Spirit to slow XG down.
And can they even kill these tanky cores? It doesn't look like it.
Tier 3 gone, the final set of racks exposed. They're going to try and come in heavily in on towards XM. The Supernova's in for the side. Can they burn through the sniper? They can.
They will.
They'll bring XM down. Supernova will go successfully. XXS getting pinned to the side as well with the Spear of Collapse.
But the racks.
DY, with this next one to be focused down by Spirit, but indeed the objectives are what Xtreme's looking for. And with those familiars, XXS getting close to finishing them off. Double kill for Arme. He's got the Eclipse still ready to go. It comes out as they stumble over towards Collapse. Radan trying to stand his ground, but he's going to get cleaned up by the beams of Arme. Triple kill for him. They're throwing all the buybacks into this fight, Spirit, to try and keep the game alive, but the same's to be sent for Xtreme. They're ready to close it up. They get the full lineup back together, pushing down the bottom lane, finishing off the barracks. Spirit, they're forced back to the fountain. The mega creeps are out.
Alright, that's it. Spirit, they've tried to hold on during this early game, but this is just too much. Xtreme, they're closing it out.
They are indeed. The tier 4s melting to the damage in the farm of Arme and XM.
Of course, these late game monstrosities. The TB versus the Medusa. I saw people saying it, people are looking at all the viewers and everything, they're like, it's gonna come. This Radan Terrorblade, it's gonna come at some point, and what other better place than this? The elimination game.
Absolutely.
Is it gonna work though?
Is it? I mean, are the things on Xtreme Gaming's lineup are going to work? We're seeing some picks that are like the Undying. It comes
stuff
out here on the all-important game, not a support that a lot of teams have been touching.
No, but definitely can see the reason. I mean, yeah, the Tombstone could be very threatening in some situations if they don't have a great way to get vision, like Miro was saying. This is an interesting one, because one of the abilities also on Undying is kind of just dead. Soul Rip when you're playing with Medusa is pretty bad, but I guess he can Soul Rip others. That's also not ability you really skill till way later on, so playing mostly around Decay and the Tombstone. We'll see how this ends up going down. We'll see how these lanes do go down, because they did, I know they ended up, they said at the end there, the Centaur pick into the Mars sometimes can be a bit of a risk, because if you don't Stampede early, you just get stuck inside that arena. If you don't reset away, you can just be trapped, so. We'll see how these fights do kick off, and we'll see how these lanes go in particular, because last game, the game was over after lane.
It was. I mean, on paper, right, when you look at the matchups, nothing in the early game should be as extremely one-sided as the Storm sniper situation in the last game, right?
No, definitely not.
So that's something going for the early game, at least for Team Spirit, as that very much was the beginning of their struggles in that game too.
This top lane could be a little bit weird. That's the one thing. Batrider is very good to be able to trade versus an Undying, but the one thing is like Undying can sometimes just devastate lanes if he gets too many double decays, and it does get one right there. So we'll see how Collapse is going to be able to do, because I think this is the one this will probably be the most difficult lane for Spirit.
See how well they can play these early levels, and see, just sort of overall, when you look back at some of the patches, I mean, obviously these heroes have changed over time, but historically, Terrorblade, Medusa, and when you consider the changes in the position that these carriers are in now, how do they sort of match up? How are the timings against one another?
I don't know how they match up nowadays, because things have changed quite a lot. But in the past, a lot of the TB players liked playing that matchup versus Medusa, because you have this reflection. It ends up working well versus her and versus her team and stuff, but who knows nowadays? With the way that Medusa changed so much, it's like a completely different hero almost in a way, because you have these extra nukes, you have your Facet in particular also makes you so much stronger, because you have a literal passive that makes you do more damage. It's just different, it's just very, very different matchup.
So Jinkyuk was taking the creeps for a bit of a walk, but Poshka ready to contest it.
And bottom, in particular for the side of Spirit, this is a pretty strong lane. They do have the TB versus a Tusk Centaur, which is a little awkward, because the Drinking Buddies overall isn't going to be the most useful with a hero like Centaur. Not horrible, but it's not like, a ranged hero that benefits the maximum from it. So we'll see how much they can actually apply pressure onto that safe lane of Spirit as well. I feel like both safe laners are going to free farm, which usually means we're in for an explosive later stage of a game.
Absolutely. I mean, with the lane situation playing out down bottom, it's going to be a very slow start for the farm of XXS.
Nice deny, DY. Yeah, maybe XXS actually will have a harder time than Collapse will.
Yeah, I mean, these first few waves, he's barely been able to touch any of the creeps here, XXS.
We'll have to see as the lane continues. Yeah, this is going to be an off-lane struggle. As carries free farm. In mid lane, as you said, you know, DK, he's going to do pretty much even versus that sniper in particular compared to last time when Laurel just got totally owned.
Yeah, I mean, Lal is... he's just going to be feeling fantastic.
Oh.
I think, yeah, compared to what was going on last game, this time around on the DK, he at least gets to play the lane and indeed maybe have a little bit of an edge if he's able to get some nice denies in against XM Sniper. Either way, it's going to be close. Last game, it was not.
Mira? Yeah, he was level 5 when the sniper hit 7 in the last one, so that was probably one of the most one-sided affairs, at least in the mid matchup that I've seen. Sometimes it just happens, you know, this sniper, especially someone like XM, like one of the most comfortable sniper players. It can't happen, but versus DK, a lot harder. Yeah, as we say, even. And XXS is starting to get a couple more last hits down here.
Yeah, having sort of just similar levels of struggle to that of Collapse on the other side of the map.
Pretty much the same. Collapse, though. Big hit. Not enough damage. Almost.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, just having double nuke. Double nuke on this Medusa. It's so nice when you're just reducing their strength so much with this Undying. It's really causing problems for Collapse.
A lot of focus around the mid there. Jinkyu to head over to see if there's a chance to get in on top of Lal, but wasn't to be the case. They've got that vision set up around the mid. He's also able to take over the Watcher, so a lot of information that Xtreme Gaming are getting around this mid portion, and also, of course, around the triangle, I guess, in terms of just checking for stack potential.
Yeah, they blocked it as well, too, right? They put that sentry from earlier. They're playing versus Batrider, so they also are playing versus that Collapse Mars, which they probably expect to have a hard lane, so just making sure that they can know if any of those stacks are going out. Also, this tournament just has an absolutely insane amount of stacks, especially in that like Aurora versus Heroic game, but just means that Mira's going to play the lane, so he's going to look to trade a little bit more with Ame. And things across the board on CS are looking pretty dead.
I mean, it's pretty crazy stuff. Yeah, we're coming up to 5 minutes in, and it really couldn't be closer on the last hits across all fronts.
Yeah, this is exactly what we would want for this game 3. Who's going to be the first to die?
Yeah,
Who's going to go down? Collapse has been sitting quite low, but...
He has, but he usually tends to do this, right, Collapse?
He does.
I feel like he knows the limits of his offlane heroes, so you'll generally get to see him sitting as low as he does, but very rarely giving up that first blood.
Yeah, he's hanging on to the 8-stick charges, so...
Yeah.
Could potentially even see... Like, Tombstone is now gone, so maybe even Demo does have to be a little bit cautious how far he steps up also.
I feel like, if anything, probably the most likely lane to get a kill in is maybe bottom for Spirit around a good Metamorphosis if Xtreme Gaming, if the two of them overcommit.
But he can just Drinking Buddies yank him out, right? I mean, I guess if they overcommit, yeah. But I just feel like Xingqiu has so much defensive capability that, I don't know.
I guess it's hard. It's
lane
hard
it's
to find a kill in this game.
But
for anybody early on.
That's not what Dota's about, though, as we saw in that last game. You know, not the most kills, and the game ended pretty abruptly.
Absolutely.
Mira? Is that a little bit of a sneaky move? See what he looks to do here. 6 minutes coming in. Power Rune going to be checked. Xingqiu is going to make the first rotation, at least to break these lanes at the moment. Claiming a bounty as well, too.
It's going to be a shield rune.
Feels like the difference in gold is literally just those bounties that he's claimed, since the CS is pretty much even across the board. Now the TB's starting to pull a little bit ahead, though.
Mate, they're just not going to die at all. 20 charges on the wand. He's got a mango as well.
Chilling.
Super safe against these two. It's going to take a +1 to come in. I mean, that very much is the story for any of these lanes, it feels. There's got to be a rotation when it comes to finding the early action. But, yeah, both teams, they're very happy to play this passively, especially the carries, right? You know, Radan came here to hit creeps on the TB, and Ame, he came here to hit creeps on the Medusa.
100%. Mira, XM is making a move. Can they get the lineup? Does he have the range for the assassinate? I guess not. He did have the healing lotus, so maybe it was okay anyway.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, level 1 assassin. Yeah, I think he would have survived.
Yeah, it would have been.
Just a couple of stick charges in the lotus. Yeah. So.
Let's.
XM knows, doesn't go for it.
And let's see where that first move. I mean, Poshka also now looking to at least contest and walk to check for some wards, and maybe it'll be mid. We'll see. Laurel has DK form active, but who knows who's gonna go down first.
I mean, at this pace, I feel it's more likely we're gonna see a tier 1 go down before anyone dies.
Perhaps. XM farming some stacks, Laurel farming some stacks, both mid laners being a little bit cautious when supports go missing.
You gotta be cautious. You know, this could be your final game here on the road to the International.
0-0. Now this, yeah, you know that this is one of those lower bracket eliminations.
Oh,
it
is.
Poshka, he's got the dive. Stampede is online. All right.
Okay, that could get some action going. Top lane, the spear does connect onto DY.
Mira.
He's going to try and fight in under the tombstone. It's not going to go well for him as Xtreme find first blood.
And
as DY takes Mira down. Rotation comes in with the snowball. They're ready to take out Collapse as well. They lead him with the snowball. Collapse, he's also going to fall. Xtreme, they'll find the first 2 kills to start this game off.
And they didn't have to use the Stampede. They could have actually used it earlier in case of anything they want to say, but DY was confident. And even if DY dies, it would have been first blood, but it's at the point where it instant respawns. Because we have already made it to this like 8-minute mark. So the Ceaseless Dirge would have kicked in. Bottom.
Got the turn up from XM. He's got an Assassinate coming in, but Poshka's going to try and sunray away, but the Assassinate will finish him off. Another kill to be found from Xtreme as on both the top lane and the bottom lane. Team Spirit, some of them getting a little too aggressive and not, you know, underestimating the potential for Xtreme to turn these plays around. Xtreme, they're pretty strong in this early game.
Up to a 2K lead just off of that one. I believe they got all the bounties that spawned on the bottom side. They got all the ones that spawned on their side too, and these early kills. So now you're starting to see the reflection in that gold. Already up to 2K.
DY, he's ready to start wandering across the map. Same to be said for XM.
They want to apply more pressure. XM's starting to feel his power.
And they know the Metamorphosis is on cooldown for a long time for Radan.
His bottom tower is in trouble, so
yeah, Radan's out of there.
He's going toward top. Ame is sticking around up here. Collapse is going to go for it.
See if they've got the damage. Is there going to be any backup coming in for Ame? They've got the Stampede to try and get him away. It's going to work. They don't have anywhere close to enough damage to threaten the Medusa. Even if the Metamorphosis was up, unlikely they were going to threaten Ame. Back over in the mid, Spirit. Trying to go for the setup onto Jing Q. He's going to be able to drag himself away with the drinking buddies. He's out.
Oh, this ability.
TPs are coming in as well. Quick Dragon Tail will stop XXS from getting a chance to set up with a stomp. But again, Xtreme, they're putting a stop to any of these early game moves that Spirit are trying to get going.
And XXS already has his farming item finished. He already has his Blade Mail, so 800 ahead that of the Mars, and now he can park himself in mid lane. You don't really want to go on this Centaur by any means. A very strong early game again from the side of Xtreme.
And we saw what they were able to do with a solid lead last game. Things started to speed up very quickly. It's going to be a bit more difficult to do that this time round considering the nature of their heroes. But without a doubt, if they can continue to respond to Spirit in this fashion, they can absolutely continue to just grow this lead and make it very difficult for Spirit to fight their way back into the game.
Yeah, by no means this game do they have that type of tempo push.
Close in 20.
Like that one comes when you have this like Visage and everything in combination with dominating lanes. It just starts to accelerate. This one, it's definitely going to be a bit of a longer one. Which is definitely exciting because we could have some really nice mid-game team fights. The first blink, it's online.
Okay.
Laurel definitely wants to start dictating the pace a little bit, trying to get onto some of these fragile backliners.
Collapse is also about to have Arena back online, so some of the tools coming together that could allow Spirit to make a move happen. They're going to smoke up with the 2 of them. The Poshka, of course, yet to hit the 6 himself, so this will be without the Supernova. Just trying to find something off the back of the Blink Dagger on Lyle.
Oh, what a timing for XM to move out of there, though. We'll be able to sneak himself away. Slow little dwarf.
Back over towards the mid.
Mira.
They might be able to have a chance to go for him. They've got the setup.
They share
up. He's going to get up to the high ground, but Assassinate, bam! Comes in, takes him out. And XM getting easy kills and can put the pressure onto the tier 1. Same time, bottom lane, Radan trying to take down the tier 1 himself, but there's TPs available. The setup's there, but Lyle able to put a stop to the Who's Stop attempt from XXS with a quick Dragon Tail. But that does
They're bringing numbers.
The one to get left behind. He'll try for a TP out, but XM, he knew it was coming, immediately started getting the Assassinate going to make sure that Lyle cannot escape.
5-0. XM is everywhere. This sniper, 3 of the kills because of him. His little rotations.
He's doing a lot.
Sometimes you wouldn't really expect all the time. It's like, oh, DK rotating and a sniper rotating. The sniper rotations are working just a little bit better. They bring 5 bottom. They cancel some TPs, but very good defense. They're punishing pretty much every single one of Spirit's aggressive moves beautifully.
Yeah, excellent move so far from Xtreme.
And now the mid tower. This is reminiscent of that last game. Mid tower's going down. 5K lead.
We'll see how Radahn can keep up in farm here as the pressure starts to build up against him.
Ame's already got almost Manta. Absolutely massive. And these 2 cores are huge. And that was Laurel's blink reveal, right? Bottom. So that does not feel good for the side of Spirit at all. If your first aggressive move just gets completely halted.
And so with Radahn's approach as well, by looks at what you go for this defusal as the Terrorblade, and then you just look to fight.
I think he probably feels like they kind of have to with the pace of the game, that he's going to have to start turning up a little bit more, because their damage is definitely going to be a bit lackluster if he's not the one wailing into this arena. Especially versus Medusa. Like, Batrider and Phoenix aren't really going to provide too much versus a Medusa draft inside that arena. So yeah, maybe Yatoro's feeling pressure to just have to get involved earlier on. He's got it done pretty much. They have 5K lead already. That is pretty massive. DY even just playing inside the enemy triangle, stealing jungle. And he has no fear up here. Concerns for Spirit.
We've got quite some catching up to do.
Quite some catching up to do, and overall just starting to look at things of how they deal with Ame. Yes, you have this TB who's getting the defusal, but it feels like nobody else actually has a good answer versus him. Maybe even the Terrorblade's not a great answer with the defusal, we'll have to say. Mira is doing a bit of a sneaky play. Looks like he will actually get away with stealing this Wisdom. Ame was over here, but he just decided to push the lane instead, so. Silver lining for Team Spirit, they do get these 2 Wisdoms at the 14-minute mark.
Xtreme, I could be ready to look for another move. So the Blink Blade Mail online for XXS.
They're so strong in these fights on the side of XG.
If they get the jump, they'll get the kills very quickly. I mean, XXS, he's already on top of Radahn. He's moving in onto him. Radahn, has he got any way to play his way out of this? The arena will come out. He's able to turn with the sun. Deposit the metamorphosis as he looks towards XM. The tornado's there now. He's out with the Stampede. Look towards XM, he'll finally fall. Mira also to fall in response. XXS has to on to collapse. Radahn, he's caught in the corner. DY and Ame will bring him down. An awkward spot there for Spirit to try and fight in. They lose Radahn. Ame cleans up. Sorry, it was a snowball, not a tornado. There's no tornadoes going on here. But how did they end up in that position, Fogged?
They just wanted to back up Radahn because he's up there alone, but he gets completely isolated. Honestly, XM almost doesn't even die. He's so tanky on the sniper with this build. 1700 HP. And Ame's just getting away with everything.
This Medusa is... it's looking beautiful. 104 on Ame. The Skadi, he's going to start working on that now. If this continues, it's going to be incredibly quick timings for this Medusa pick. And you can tell Ame's having fun with it. First game, right. We heard from them during the draft that he wanted to play some Moeta. I bet you this game 3, he probably came into it at the start of the draft and said, I want to play some Medusa. So far, it's looking great.
It was banned out in both of those 2 games before, and it really is starting to look absolutely beautiful. Laurel, he goes Blink. They have Mars with a Blink too, so their damage is literally only really going to come from Radahn at this point, and he is pretty cooldown reliant. Has to show up with meta. It's the reason we don't see this one too often right now, and Xtreme are just capitalizing beautifully after these lanes.
They can get on top of him, they can kill him. The fights are going to be so difficult for Radahn to turn up to.
And Ame's farm is just getting absolutely out of control, as you said. Manta, he's got the ulti orb also finished up too.
He is massive for 16 minutes in.
They all really are. DY also has a Pavis, so he's also decently farmed on this Undying. Collapse blinking in.
DY will drop the tombstone. And they have to drop the arena for that.
He's outside.
XM, but indeed he's outside of the arena, so he's perfectly fine. The jump comes in from XXS. They're going to take down Mira. The Supernova will come out, but XM's perfectly fine at a safe distance away from the egg, away from it all. They'll kill off off Mirror, they'll kill off Collapse, and they're ready to try and chase him for more. The zombies chasing down Lyle. The shards won't quite grab onto them, but the jump
stun
from XXS in with the blink stun. Arme wraps around with the stone gaze. Lyle's taken out, but Poshka trying to escape up to the high ground, but he cannot get away from them as Xtreme will slowly but surely take him out as well. 4 dead, double kill for Arme. It's 11-1, 8k leader at 17 minutes in. It's almost as if this game is going faster than game 2.
It feels
they're doing
like
it with this draft. Xtreme Gaming, after that game 1, game 2, they walk over Spirit. Now game 3, they are doing it in a very Xtreme Gaming style.
They're speed running it. It does feel like it. That's a perfect fight for them.
Yeah.
The sniper doesn't get caught in the arena. DY is just standing inside of it. They can't even finish off the Undying, and even if they kill him, he instantly respawns. Back at the base, he'd be able to come right back in. They're getting nothing, Spirit.
No.
Things are crumbling faster and faster, and trying to think of how they can try to
what do they do?
stabilize things, and it feels like it might just be like sitting back and farming, but that doesn't even feel good either.
It's going to take something crazy from Spirit to slow this one down.
This is a tanky Centaur. They've got decent damage with 4 heroes here, but is
Got
it
the blade
enough?
mail off before the lasso. It's on the retreat. The snowball there as well. I mean, Xingqiu trying to get XXS back to safety, but he will get taken out. They should be able to turn towards Xingqiu here with the damage from the Metamorphosis. From the backlines, XM shot down Lyle. Rodan gets the double kill. See if they can get out though. And Poshka, he certainly cannot. Now Collapse. Also got to be careful with one of the zombies starting to go at him. Rodan.
His top tower is under attack.
Just in the meanwhile, just Ame is just farming though, right? So they're trying to make these moves with 5 heroes because it feels like it's like these desperate moves, but Ame's like, this is great.
And you're going to have a Skadi.
He is
18 minutes in,
farmed.
Manta Skadi. It is crazy timings.
His team doesn't need him either. They can actually fight versus Spirit without him at this point because of how far ahead they are. And XM, he actually almost has a BKB on top of everything too, so even tankier. With BKB, he might not even die if they throw everything.
I think so, even if they sort of get the setup with the arena into the egg, if they can't find the chain stun to just completely control him, he's going to be able to turn and take down that supernova.
And XXS is getting closer and closer to having a Crimson Guard too, which, oy oy oy, he is a tanky beast on this Centaur. It's going to block so much of the damage that Spirit is already lacking. DY, aggressively postured because he's got Ame.
Indeed, he's going to get the tombstone drop down. They've got the Stampede as well. The hoop
Big
up
stun.
as well. It's a beautiful jump straight on the mirror of Rodan. Punch up Rodan. Can he get the Sunder off? He can. The arena is there with the spear connection over towards XXS, but he's tanky enough to walk it off. They can't quite.
Here comes
fix the
XM.
Centaur. Rodan getting sniped down by XM. Double kill for DY. Spirit, they've got to run.
12,000 lead. They're just continuing to dive forward. Xingqiu wants more. Can't find it, but the tower in jeopardy. There's no glyph.
These fights are just proving to be all too much for Spirit.
They can't kill a target. They got a huge Sunder. It gets XXS at what? 10% HP or less. He gets mech'd. He gets soul ripped up. He's just fine. An incredibly one-sided affair so far in this game. It's not looking to have many hope for Spirit. Radon, it turns up and dies. And that's the BKB now done for the sniper. So on top of having damage item, he's got that extra survivability. Crimson soon for the Centaur and Ame. I think looking at Ame just looks definitely puts some fear into anybody here.
Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, this is the thing as well. I think last game was about 26 minutes in. This game, it was like that 6 minute, 7 minute mark. It felt like we were going to have a nice slow pace, a bit of a build up. But no, Xtreme Gaming, they said no. They turned the heat up. They're taking over the game incredibly quickly. And this sort of lead with their lineup at 20 minutes in, it's quite a sight to see.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to break that kind of lead too when they've got a dual core that's very good to play versus something like Terrorblade. You know, they have got this distance at this point with these type of items that they really can shut him down so hard. And Ame already has. It's just crazy the timing, right? The Scotty this early versus these range cores. That's beautiful. Beautiful so far from XG. And they give him an Aegis. Okay.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck.
Done it once, now you got to do it twice.
Overall, also, I do have to give a lot of credit to DY. I know I'm talking a lot about these cores, XM and everything, but DY, this is an Undying, a hero we're not really seeing too much. He's 14 of the 15 kills for his team.
That's MVP worthy at the moment.
Like this hero
Doing
sometimes
it on Undying.
doesn't move, doesn't do much of anything. DY is leading the charge, making plays. Maybe we could see some more of this hero coming in.
Larl. He's cool. He's cool.
He's all right.
Radahn desperately trying to find what farm he can on the map. Again, considering the circumstances, he's keeping up with XM.
Oh, but he's in trouble.
That's been found now, and
Dangerous spot.
XXS is ready to use that Stampede to stay on top of him. He does get the Sunder off, but it's not really going to matter. Has to take these risks and farm in such locations, but will of course mean that once and again, Xtreme Gaming, they'll find Radahn.
And they might start heading down mid to Ame. Amp damage with this Aegis, getting close to a butterfly. No realms of anything to deal with that anytime soon on the side of Spirit. It could be another one of those 25-minute high ground pushes. It does feel like it's culminating to that. Spirit trying to find what they can on the map, trying to get these next items. Will they get the time? I mean, look at the positioning from Mira. He's just trying to like cut waves, but he's caught.
Ooh, he's dead. Bye-bye.
That's like him like trying to D-ward to catch a wave because they're looking to just take this mid-rax.
This is great. 22 minutes in,
Even
and you got Ame on the Medusa hitting your high ground.
Full Greaves on DY. This is a super farm than dying.
Trying to get the jump onto DY. Collapses in with the follow-up. They'll burst through the Undying. Arena's there, if anything, to just sort of hold them back and give the chance to back away from this.
He does respawn instantly, though. So Undying, he's coming right back to that fray.
And this push is going to keep on coming from Xtreme. Fortification comes out. Spirit, what can they do to hold without the Arena? They still have the Supernova.
They've got the blink on the Batrider when he's respawning in 2 seconds. Let's see if they can get some big repositioning.
Next creep wave about to come in. The backdoor protection's gone. Ame's up to the high ground. It's Ame. Who goes on him? Who wants to go on him? Radahn is going to do his best, cutting the creeps. The range racks are gone. XXS is in with a jump. Collapse presents itself immediately. There on top of it. Collapse is gone.
Miposhka?
He's going to dive away just in time to assassinate. Here it comes. Ooh, not enough.
But the Rax, it's... Ooh, actually, backdoor does kick back in, so they will keep that alive with their bodies.
Radahn is indeed. He's keeping the melee rack safe.
But they know he's cutting it. XXS, he's going to go catch the illusions at the least.
Radahn, he's got to hide.
They're going to escort the wave.
I mean, he's got this invis room, but he can't do anything crazy with it. He kind of wants to.
The XXS is just, he's bodying the wave, you know, making sure that Yatoro, Radahn can't cut it.
He'll settle for a curry. I mean, Radahn just trying to draw any sort of focus away from the high ground of his base.
Here comes that push again, though. And they can even transition it toward bottom if they have this creep still alive. Xinq's already immediately running there.
I think they're certainly going to want to. They know at this point, Spirit, what do they do against this sort of push coming at them at 24 minutes in?
Ame's got the butterfly. There's just no damage on Spirit to deal with this. They'll get rid of the creeps. So XG might have to just back up and deal with that. So they're being pesky. Trying to delay as long as possible, but it's not building into any of these big items just yet. They need so much more time for Radahn. And the time does not feel like it's favoring him too much as this Medusa's just 7,000 ahead of him. Level 18 as well.
Radiant are scanning.
Mira.
Oh.
They just drop a
He'll drop a
tombstone.
tombstone for that. He's like, well, you can bump me back with the flame break into a little corner on the cliff, but I'll just drop down the tombstone and take you out with the zombies.
They'll go top. Ame, he's got a catapult up here. And again, now they're going to escort this wave to probably look for that tier 2 push. And for Spirit, I mean, what do you do? How do you stop the push?
I mean,
they're trying their best to cut the waves.
Yeah.
The push is coming.
They kind of have to keep sacrificing their supports just to keep the game alive.
There's no way they can fight. Head-on battle is just impossible. And I feel like the Fountain is their strongest ally at this point if they can get them somehow pulled into there, but XG's playing it clean, sticking together, sticking with this wave.
See how much they want to push it. They don't have the Aegis, but I don't think they'll mind. They know how strong they are with this lead, Xtreme Gaming. Smoke up. Team Spirit, they remain in the base, leaving this high ground very, very risky for them right now.
This is like a sweep, I believe, for XG, right? They push top, and then they're like, okay, they're going to try to cut waves and stuff like that. Let's sweep across the map, catch anybody who's trying to do so. But Spirit, they're actually just in their base anyway, so it does its effect. Just making sure that they can't get outside. And just continuing to grow this lead even more. XXS.
And they're starting to step up the pace a bit, Spirit.
He has 3,700 HP with a Crimson. I think if they even throw everything onto him, it might not be enough.
They're going to maybe try to catch them by surprise, Spirit.
I mean, this is the... you have to do something quirky.
I mean, with the vision being taken out.
They still have that one ward, Radon.
They do. And the CDY Mirror's going to get the jump in with the lasso. They get the drag back. Xtreme him with the jump. Who stomps straight away over towards Mirror. Mirror's
Crimson.
gone. And now immediately they move towards Radon. Radon, is there any way to get him out of this? He'll turn with the Sunder, pot the Manta, move towards Arme. They get the Dragon Tail off, but Arme, he's got so much mana, so much sustainability. They cannot kill him off. Radon will
He just
fall.
fights through
They
it.
take the egg down, and one more hit. They actually can't get it off. The Supernova successful. Miposhka will survive with the ultimate. But can Spirit live through this fight? Lar's trying to battle back, but Arme's too strong. Double kill for him. Mega kill streak for XM. There's only Miposhka survives. Xtreme, they lose nothing, and they're ready to come barreling down the bottom lane.
They pop the Crimson, it blocks an unbelievable amount of damage, and Radon drops first. They need him as long as possible. That looks like it just might be it. 21,000 gold lead. They couldn't kill anybody.
They really couldn't. And now there's a full pipe on top of it all. The XXS has managed to add to his inventory. They'll move up towards the top lane, Xtreme.
That was their all-in fight, and yeah, couldn't bring down a single target. XG just too damn strong, too far ahead.
Jinq, seeing what sort of response he can get. He'll get another buyback coming out. Spirit. It's maybe their final fight. They're going to try and give it everything they've got, but Mirror's already been caught by the Husum. Mirror's gone. Out for 45, no buyback available on him. The top racks have been taken. Lal to fall. Out for 75, the Mega Creeps are out. Xtreme Gaming here, moments away from what it feels like knocking Team Spirit out of the competition. As they get the jump onto Radon. The Terror Blade's out, no buyback available for him. GG has been called. It's the end of the road here for Team Spirit. Xtreme Gaming will be the ones to move on today.
At the back of the